Chart patterns, identifying and what they mean. Okay, now there's a lot of discussion around chart patterns, and it often comes up in chat forums and these sorts of things, right? So they are good to know, so you can join the discussion. But let me just show you what they are, right? They're just funky names for different types of support and resistance. So when we started building the course 10, 15 years ago, we break it down into simplistic form, right? You'll find all of these chart patterns are just one type of support or resistance, okay, that you can take advantage of. Now, the chart patterns themselves are broken up into three main groups, okay? Now, you've got the continuation pattern, obviously continuing the trend, a reversal of a trend, or bilateral, can basically go up or down. And you'll find the outcome for each of these is quite ambiguous. And that's why we never really focused on them too much. Okay, because when you break it down, it's just support and resistance and how good it is, right? So let me just run through the most common types of chart patterns. You've got the head and shoulders, the double top and bottom, and actually you can throw in the triple top and bottom there as well, the flag, bullish or bearish, a price channel, ascending and descending triangles, wedge formations, and pennants. All right, so now what are reversal chart patterns? Well, basically, they're trying to signal the end of a trend. There are limitations of the chart formations, okay? They won't always result in the price move expected, and it may also be smaller or bigger, right? So what do you take out of that? So the main aspect here is just understanding what they are, right? So when we get movements, okay, double top, you're just looking at two tops and drawing a trend line across the bottom. Now, this is the same for the head and shoulders. And this would actually almost be a triple top, although a triple top, they're usually pretty much lined up. Head and shoulders, like back in the early 90s, before computers really became a thing, and we had big graph paper in the dealing rooms, that used to be sort of something that everyone would sort of talk about, you know, and it was more about being sort of sophisticated with your analysis. You know, I've got a head and shoulders here, but did it always work? Rarely. Okay. But what we did notice is that you do end up with support and resistance trend lines. A rising wedge, the same sort of thing. Okay. And you'll find throughout the different patterns that some of these are in the reversal chart patterns, some are also in the continuation, and some are also in the bilateral. Okay. So when we are looking at it, you're just looking for various types of support and resistance and potentially leading to a move up or down. Right. But we will know as a trader, right, the direction primarily comes from the fundamentals, right? The technicals just tell us exactly the roadmap of where it's been and potentially where it's going. So all of these patterns here, you can see the reversal patterns, obviously also at the bottom here. They work top and bottom. So you can easily sort of identify what you're looking at now. Okay, the continuation chart patterns. Once again, you've got some of the pennants, the wedges, and even some other names like the bearish rectangle. As I said, they're just funky names for various types of support and resistance. But you will know yourself, once you go through the Trading the Technicals course, that if we can identify support and or resistance, we're in the game. We just got to identify where the direction's going. And for instance, this bearish rectangle, looks like it's going down, right, already. So you'll be looking for that support trend line to go with the trend. So it's no surprise you know exactly what to do. It's just a funky name for support and resistance. The bilateral chart patterns, okay, once again, basically going with the trend. Now, these ones could go either way, which is, I find a little bit hilarious, but that's actually technical analysis in one, right? But trend up, you've got a resistance trend line at the top, looking to get in to go with the trend. Obviously, if it reverses, there's an opportunity on the downside as well. So you see this with the different types of triangles, ascending, descending, symmetrical. Okay, so when we were being trained in the banks around 1990, 91, right, they used to get all the junior traders from all the banks. We'd go to like a conference, I'd go through all of these chart patterns, and that's technical analysis 101. Right, there's nothing tricky to it. It's just a matter of understanding what they are. So if you are in, say, the 247 trade zone, right, you can say, look, I've got a head and shoulders here if you want to get fancy. Or you could just say, listen, I've got a really strong resistance level, and I think we could see a breakdown. But I'm showing you this just to give you a little bit of understanding of what the chart patterns are, what they're called. But basically, don't overthink it. They are basically support and resistance, and that's as much as you need to know.